You know what I'd like to hear? I'd like to hear one of your stories, Chris.
I was eating lunch with a couple of coworkers in Manitou Springs, and I get a phone call from a new customer. And just like every customer, I sell her some products, but I'm a pretty casual guy on the phone. I build up a good rapport. So that's why I was successful at my job. And as we're speaking, a lot of my customers would do this with me. They get relaxed, and sometimes we talk about other things. It wasn't a business call anymore. It's just two people on the phone talking. I would say things like that. Hey, we're just two people on the phone talking.
Right.
And so anyways, we started talking, this young lady and I. She had just moved to town a few months ago, and I think she was in the military. And we ended up talking through my entire lunch break. My coworkers are in the restaurant. I stepped out to handle the call. I stepped back in there like an hour later.
This is just a casual conversation?
Yeah, just a casual. I sold her everything I needed to sell her in probably the first 8 minutes of the conversation.
Well, the rest is just...
The other 42 minutes was her and I on a personal level, just getting to know each other and talking. And she's telling me about ex-boyfriend and experiences that she's had. I'm telling her about mine. And we're really hitting off. I'm getting that excitement because I know more about her than she does me. And so I had a really good impression about her. And she had good credit because I had to build an order for her. And it went through. I was like, oh, she has good credit.
Okay.
So we're talking. And after a while, after we've been on there for like an hour, she's like, hey, I got to go. I was like, yeah, I got to go too. I've been on the phone. My coworker's waiting for me. And she goes, I really want to meet you, Chris. I was like, I really want to meet you too. And she's like, well, St. Patrick's Day is this weekend. I'm having a party at my house. I was like, oh, sweet. All right. She goes, I want you to come. I was like, I want to come too. But
yeah.
But
C-U-M.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I hang up the phone. I go back to my table with Jim and Rachel, and I tell them, they're like, where have you been? I tell them everything that just happened. Like, oh my God, you Chris, you're the man. Because everyone at work thinks I'm the man when I'm not. And so I'm excited. And I talked to Debbie some more throughout the week. And she's excited about me showing up, and it's a party she's having with, obviously, her friends. And I said, okay, well, when I get off work, I'll change, and I'll head right over. So St. Patrick's Day comes. The party's on us Friday or Saturday night. I think it was a Friday night. And I go home, get cleaned up, feeling good about myself like most guys. I made sure to get some push-ups in there. Get as much
swole.
Much buffness as I can.
This is at the house still, or this is like right before you walk into her place?
Well, of course I did the push-ups and stuff at my house, drove over there.
Did a few more
someplace where I know I'm not going to get seen by anyone at that party. And then I pull over to the party, and then I go to the door. Now, as many of you who've been listening to our podcast know, if you just tuned in, you're listening to me, you might think I'm Italian. Who knows? You might think I'm Irish. Who knows what you think? But chances are you're not thinking that I'm a 6'4" black guy from the south side of Chicago. And
you're well-spoken, and but you are, to see you are...
I fit a stereotype.
Yes.
I fit a few stereotypes when you look at me. Stereotypes in your mind, if you will. Right. And so, anyways... I show up to the door, ring the doorbell, ding dong. I can hear people inside partying and stuff. And so one of her friends answers the door. She opens the door as if I were the pizza guy, because she looks at me, she goes, not, hey, come on in, or, oh, hey, who are you, or anything like that. She opens the door and she goes, yes.
What?
Yeah, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I go,
what do you want, or what do you have?
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Debbie's friend. Debbie invited me this evening. And the girl, it was almost like she was taking a swig, and she like, that deal where she was going to swallow the swig, but she almost choked, so she caught it. She's like, oh, you're Chris? I go, yeah, I'm Chris.
And in her mind, she's like, brilliant. This is going to be we're going to talk about this for a long time.
The way she smiled at me, she was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me smile.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, come on in, Chris. I'm so-and-so. Oh, hey, so-and-so, it's nice to meet you. And so I walk in, and everyone's in the kitchen. And I see a few people in the living room. I go, hey, how you guys doing? And I go, hey, how you doing? And like most black people, when you enter a party, I instantly scan to see, are there any other black people here? No. Okay. Yeah. No biggie. I live in Colorado Springs, went to Catholic schools. Whatever. I'm still comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I go in the kitchen, and she's sitting at the table, and there's people there partying. And before I get to say anything, her friend so-and-so says, hey, everybody, this is Chris.
Oh, yeah. Because the friend is like, yeah, we're going to have ourselves a good time.
Exactly. She says that, and a few more. I honestly, like in the movies, I think the music did stop. I think the music, no one plays records anymore.
Right.
But I could have sworn I heard that, like someone just yanked the needle off the record.
Turned.
Yeah.
And looked and said, because apparently she had been talking about this.
She had been talking about me. Yes. She'd been hyping me up.
Hey, you guys, get your party on now, because when Chris comes, we're really going to party.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Chris came.
Right.
Chris
because up to this, we'd had so many phone calls, and, on the phone, I'm joking around with her and making her laugh and telling stories. Yeah. So we were really looking forward to seeing each other until we saw each other. And then there was only one of us looking forward to things.
Right. Well, first, let me ask, how did she look?
She was half black. And half.
She's half black?
She's half black. Oh, this is where it gets...
I didn't know that.
Yes, this is where it gets even better.
Okay.
And so she's half black, and, I don't know, half something. I don't know what the fucking other half was.
Half white.
I don't even think it was half white. I think, she may have been half black and half Hispanic. Because she was definitely half black, but she was just... Her hair and her skin was just too dark for the other half to be Caucasian.
Okay.
And so, she looks at me, and she's like, Chris... And she didn't get up immediately. And so guys that were on the other side of the table, they're like playing a drinking game. They come over and they're all shaking my hands and stuff. I literally shook 3 other people's hands before she got up and came over to me.
Yeah.
Then she comes over, she's like, hey, Chris. And she like shakes my hand. I'm going to hug her.
And she shook your hand.
And she's going to shake my hand.
Oh,
she can see how awkward that was. Yeah. So she hugs me back. She gets rid of the handshake and settles for the hug.
Fuck, I hug people I hug strangers all the time. I hug strangers.
I'm a hugging guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, anyways, she goes, well, hey, did you meet everybody? I go, well, I kind of just walked through, so she makes sure I meet everybody.
Yeah.
She
says, this is Chris. She doesn't say it with like her friend. This is Chris. She's like, that's Chris.
And here's what's fucked up. When she takes me to show me around the house, so we're in the kitchen doing all this. She goes, well, let me introduce you to everyone in the living room and show you the house. When we leave the kitchen, I hear the kitchen get quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have to have a discussion.
They're talking about me.
She was talking some mad shit about you, like, boosting you up on like how whatever it was that she thought you were beforehand.
Yep.
Then you show up and everyone's like, oh, here he is. And then so when you leave the kitchen, they have to all get on the same page and be like, oh, that was Chris. This is going to be good.
Yeah. And they're probably saying things like, well, she said she never met him. And so anyways, I meet everyone at the party. And of course, like, not to brag, but I get along with everyone really well.
Yeah.
All the guys who were kind of like weirded out at first. Yeah. Now that towards the end, after they talked to me about snowboarding and mountain biking and all the shit I like to do, they think I'm pretty cool. We're cracking jokes, talking about football and stuff, and I'm getting along with them. I sold someone cable because that's what I do. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to make some money while I'm here. I sold someone internet and TV service because she told me about the special. But during all this socializing for me, she is not socializing with me. It is almost like every time I enter the room, she'd be leaving the room or just not there. Like I heard her voice in there, but then I show up and she's not there.
Wait, but she was giving you the tour.
She gave me the tour. After she gave me the tour, showed me the house, I go back. We get back to the living room, first base. We rounded all the bases, and back up at home plate.
Yeah, and not sexual bases.
Right. No,
this is literally just room bases.
This is literally baseball jargon, which is boring. So yes. And so when we get back to the living room, one of her girlfriends comes over. Oh, the girl that answered the door, so-and-so.
Yeah.
She goes, hey, Debbie, come here real quick. And she takes her into another room.
Yeah.
So now I'm socializing on my own with all her friends I just met. But I'm fine, whatever. And it was like they separated her from me so they could all talk probably, give her some space. And it was really to set the tone. Like, this isn't working out. Because I hung out with all of her friends far longer than I hung out with her.
Right.
after a while, I just said, you know what? I'm out. I've had enough. I'm done. And so I leave. You know, I say my goodbyes. I had to go find her just to say goodbye. I remember that. I had to look from like 2 different rooms before I found her. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go, blah, 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 blah. I got to work tomorrow. So I called her Sunday to thank her for inviting me. She didn't answer the phone. I left her a message. I talked to her probably, I'm guessing, Tuesday. And she called me to let me know that this wasn't going to work out. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Batgirl. But I solved this case on my own. And that's when she informed me. She goes, Chris, I really had no idea you were black. And I go, yeah, I've dealt with that before. I get that from a lot of customers. And she goes, Chris, I really don't date black guys.
But she's
yes. And I said,
black.
Well, I'm really curious. You don't exactly look white. And she goes, well, I'm not. And this is awkward for her because now she has to do some explaining.
Yeah. And
she goes, well, yeah, I'm half black. I go, you're half black.
Yeah.
And she goes, yes. I go, is the other half Klan? How can you tell me you don't date black guys when one of your parents is black? Actually, I'm assuming your father's black. She goes, yes. Yeah. Okay. So your dad is black.
Yeah.
And you don't date black guys.
Yeah.
And she goes, no. And I go, why is that? And then she tells me, now this part sounds messed up, but I think it was bullshit. Anyone who's heard this has been listening would think this is some bullshit to tell me.
Yeah.
She says when she was in high school, like her senior year or something, a black dude sexually assaulted her.
Okay.
And now she doesn't date black guys.
Oh, shit.
So I'm labeled as a potential sexual assailant because of something some black guy did to her senior year of high school.
May or may not have done.
The story sounded so bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just say you're not attracted to black guys? But to tell me, to associate me with a sexual
she
creep.
could say that because that would have been, I would think that...
I easily could accept that.
Right. Because, different strokes for different folks. Different people are attracted to different things. And if she would have said, hey, I just don't find black guys attractive, you could go, okay, I can understand that.
But instead she goes, I find black guys dangerous and risky. Is basically what she told me.
But not in a sexy way. Not like dangerous, but like dangerous.
And so, I'm trying to keep the conversation a bit lively. And so I mentioned, like, yeah, I deal with it a lot. People talk to me on the phone, and they don't think I'm black, and they're surprised they meet me. And I go, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. And that's the part where she's supposed to say, oh, please don't say it that way. But she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, oh, okay, well, fuck you on the third time there. And then that's when she informs me. I asked her, I go, what were you expecting?
Yeah.
And she goes, honestly, Chris, I thought you were going to be about 5'10", 5'11", dark hair, Italian with green eyes. I said, you got all that from my phone conversation? My eye color? You assume my eyes were going to be green?
Yeah.
And I was going to be under 6 feet tall and Italian? I go, what did I say to make you think I was Italian? Yeah. And she goes, well, I'm just saying the way you sounded, the way you carried yourself. I go, I carry myself like a mid-height Italian guy with green eyes. That's how I carry myself on the phone.
I listen to you on the phone quite a bit, probably more than most people, and I have never thought you sound like a 5'10" Italian guy with dark hair and green eyes.
Yeah, but that's what she was expecting.
Yes, but next time I talk to you, I will try to picture.
Yeah, go for it. Because I tried picturing it. I listened to myself trying to picture that. And I remember telling her, I was like, you know what? I don't think it's so much what you expected as much as what you wanted. Right. And I did say this to her. I said, it's so weird that you have a problem with black guys and you're half black. I said, Thanksgiving must be fucked up at your table. I mean, there's like half the room, you just don't trust them. You don't know what they're about to do to you. The other half you're okay with. But that half, you're like, I don't know about them.
Yeah, they might smack me on the
Who knows what's about to happen with those people over there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. And there you go. I thought you were Italian.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that...
So it's got everything in it. It starts out with all the potential and...
She could have at least been a good hostess.
No, she wasn't even a good hostess.
Because, like, if that happened with me and then there was, like, this like the Hunchback of Notre Dame female version that showed up, I'd be like, well, at least let's be nice.
Right.
Since she showed up, I don't want to be like a dick now. I just go, have some punch, have a bit of the cheese platter and some wine, and it's not going to work out, but hey, at least have a good night at the party.
Yep.
I wouldn't be a dick about it.